This is a question that I found myself asking to myself. I don't know if you talk to yourself. I do a lot. Which brands will be remembered in 5,000 years? Which brands? I want you to think about that. If you had to name one or two, which brands will endure for the next 5 millennia? This is kind of an existential question, kind of a question that sort of makes you wonder if the work that you're doing will last for generations, not just generations, but for millennia. Why would I ever ask such a question? Well, I run a company called Future Commerce, so I think about the future, the far future. I was thinking this when I was on a Zoom call, as a lot of us are wont to do, but a Zoom call like no other. I was on a Zoom call where I was looking like this. I happened to be in a group where we were playing Dungeons and Dragons for work. Has anyone done such a thing? No, you guys actually do real work. You do real work where you get real work done and you're actually shaping the actual future. This is myself and my co-founder. We're dressed up looking a little crazy here. And we were entertaining with a group of executives, about 20 of us here, thinking about what the future might look like in the very, very far distant future. Future Commerce Plus is our membership where executives come together and we dream about what could be, not the world as it is, but the world that we could shape together. And this particular group of people came together to think about what we were calling the future now. We imagine this through the generative AI that we are all using today. We created an entire world where we imagined that we, in the future, opened a box that we might have found, we uncovered. I actually might have a little bit of a video to show you. Let's go ahead and roll it. And go. And that video was produced by me in about 10 minutes with generative AI. I got really good at prompting in the last couple years with video tools that cost me about $99 a month. In fact, the entire concept of this series, all of the social media posts, all of the things that go into creating a concept like this was created with generative AI. We're all doing stuff like this. This is, I just happen to be a certain kind of a creative, crazy person that puts things like this together. But why this particular type of a concept? Well, I've become sort of like red-pilled on time capsules of all sorts of things. I created this game board with generative AI. We in this concept, we are creating a time capsule where we're unearthing one little compartment of the time capsule at a time. And as you open one little compartment in it, we're talking about the current moment as if we're in the future. Why would we do that? Why? Because we have a thesis at Future Commerce that commerce is actually culture. What we buy is who we become. And that everything that we buy and the way that we buy it is actually a reflection of our society and who we are as a people. And that is what we do at Future Commerce. We examine that and we help leaders like yourselves to make better decisions in the present so that our future is better and brighter for our customers and for leaders in our industry. We do that by helping you see around the next corner. And sorry to break the fourth wall. Could you guys help me with the confidence monitors here? Thanks. And we help you by seeing around the next corner with media experiences, executive networking. We help you with digital events like The Future Now and a little bit of enrichment. But we put on amazing events at things like Art Basel, South by Southwest, and we come and we speak to you at things like this. We also get a little bit crazy with things like time capsules, and we tell you amazing stories in things like print media. We have a brand new book coming out called Lore. I'll tell you about that in just a little bit, and you can check that out on our website at futurecommerce.com. When I was doing research for this project, I happened upon a number of time capsules that were built in the last 50 years. In the last century, we have documented our culture through time capsules at specific moments in time, especially in times of conflict. Time capsules are a way of humanity sort of preserving our fears and our hopes and our dreams through what we buy preserved and buried in the ground. This is one image in particular that really gave me a really deep sense of contemplation about who we are. This particular time capsule is from 1970 in the Osaka Matsushita Electric Company time capsule, now known as Panasonic Corporation. Panasonic created this time capsule in about 2 years' time with a jury selection of about 200 people. We're talking physicists, scientists, futurists, and consumers who all came together to decide what goes into this. And you'll recognize that a lot of this is stuff we buy. In fact, I believe that the two most prolific time capsules that have ever been created were created by consumer brands. These brands endure. So when these things are dug up, and these two time capsules that we'll cover today are meant to endure for 5,000 years, they will be remembered. So what do brands look like in 5,000 years? Well, they may not be Nike and Adidas. They may not survive the next quarter. They may not go through the ups and downs of what shareholder value is. But in 5,000 years, in 6938, when they're dug up, that society, if it does endure, will remember Westinghouse and Panasonic, because they'll have left something to it. Westinghouse has done this at least twice. At the World's Fair, this has become a thing. They love to one-up themselves. In 1938, Westinghouse built their first time capsule for the World's Fair, and they did it with a brand new metal alloy they created. They called it Cupalloy. It was a copper alloy. They felt like this would be the new sort of material science invention that would help them to endure. They love to invent new things. And when they created this brand new time capsule, they buried it sort of shallow. It's about 50 foot below ground. When they put it in, they created an incredible pavilion. You can still go see it today, Flushing Meadow in Queens. Has anyone ever been to the site of the old World's Fair? No? Not a single person? You got to go. It's incredible. Still can see it there. Anyone see Men in Black? All right, now I see some hands. Okay, that's the site of the old World Fair. It might actually be the site of Aliens. I don't know. And that is the site as a memorial to where these time capsules were contained. There is an amazing book called The Book of Record that is in public print today. You can get it on Amazon. Web to print, it'll get right to your door in about 24 hours. They still do it. And there's a pavilion that sort of tells you and documents to you what is in this time capsule. What's the greatest enemy of a time capsule, if it's not time, is curiosity. Because the last thing you want is to go digging up a time capsule before it's time. So here we are. We're looking at this time capsule. As you're digging down to the time capsule, there's warnings along the way. Wait, stop. If it's not 6938, it's too early. Turn back. That's supposed to be a joke. Come with me this morning. When you're thinking about what a future society might value, you might also need to think about what a future society might need to help them understand and communicate. Every one of these has a Rosetta Stone to help them understand language. So there's a lot of pictograms. Westinghouse employed a lot of sociologists and futurists to communicate language through pictograms. There's a diagram of the human palate to show where vowels are dictated within the mouth. It shows how I communicate past, present, and future tense. And then it actually helps them to communicate and form language so that from absolute zero, with no prior knowledge, I can help you understand and recreate my language so that I can communicate with you. It's incredible. All of my media and what I buy is also created in this time capsule so that you have an understanding of my culture. The entirety of one particular edition of the Sears Roebuck catalog is included. Now, if we were to create a time capsule today, you probably would have to include all of Amazon.com. But how do you include all of Sears Roebuck in a catalog? Well, they stored it on microfilm. But if you're going to store something on microfilm, you also have to have the player device created within it as well. So not only is the player device for the microfilm recorder in there, but also a repair manual, right? And also a filament so that you can reproduce the light source. They've gone to an incredible length to think about what a future society would need to reproduce their ability to understand how we bought and how we belonged. It's amazing. What's also incredible is the brands and the products that are in that capsule and how the products and those brands have endured since 1938. Some of these brands are still around today, and they're recognizable here to us today. Now, nothing is complete without merch. If you had gone to the pavilion in the 1938 or 1960s, you would have signed what they called the Book of Record, which would have been you were a guest at the pavilion. So if you went to the World's Fair, you would have signed the guest book, and you would have received a badge. Now, these badges now go for hundreds, if not thousands of dollars as the merch that you would have received on eBay. If you're feeling philanthropic today and you want to buy me one of these, I would love to receive one of these. This is awesome. I love to collect stuff like this. But my name is in the Westinghouse time capsule for the next 5,000 years. They still go around now as collectibles. When you zoom forward in time to the next time capsule, it's no longer as rosy. To the next one that Westinghouse did, we start to see the shift of the vibe in the culture, because now we're in the nuclear age. Now we're seeing the credit card emerge. Now we're seeing the phonograph. In fact, no, now we see the pocket radiation monitor. What we buy is actually an encapsulation of our hopes and fears. We're starting to see the computer memory unit. The things that are contained are a reflection of who we are. What's really interesting, too, is that whenever a time capsule is interred, it's sort of a tombstone to our past, but it's also a plaque or a monument to our future. When we first did our first brand exercise at Future Commerce for who we were, we sat down with a branding agency. I don't know if you've ever done an exercise like this. You sit down with a branding agency, and they always build it on like Greek or Roman myths. I don't know if anyone's ever done this before, right? And so they sat down and they said, there's always a Roman god or a Greek god that they sort of draw it back to, and they sat down with us and they said, we think that the Roman god Janus or Janus best encapsulates your brand, because it is the two-headed man. It is the old man looking back on everything that he once was, and it is the new man, the young man looking forward toward the future. And I was like, yes, that absolutely encapsulates me. And when I look at this, I'm like, yes, that is absolutely what this is as a time capsule. It is looking back on our past frozen in time, and it is absolutely a monument toward what the future could hold for us. Let's look at Panasonic for a moment. It's a brand that still exists today. When they, in 1970, were preparing for the World's Fair Expo, they did something that I believe that no brand has ever done before. They spent many, many, many years putting together their time capsule, and in the true spirit of Japanese excellence, they went to an unbelievable degree. Today, there is a website that catalogs the 10,000 items in their 2 capsules. They have 2 capsules. One is buried 50 feet below ground. One is on display today still at the Osaka Castle Expo. Today in 2025, they're returning the World's Fair to this same site ground. So you could go visit it today, and that is where this picture comes from. If you look at this, it's kind of like an Instagram flat lay before we had Instagram. Anybody? Kind of incredible. You can recognize some items here. It's not only is it consumer products, but it's media. They also, enlisted a lot of children, folks to actually, write letters and contribute. They enlisted the public to really get involved in this. They have cataloged this in an unbelievable degree. Every single human achievement as far as like chemical and social science is cataloged. So if you have a consumer product, every single alloy, every single metal, every single type of plastic, every single chemical, everything is cataloged in a meticulous degree. If you're like me, you can spend hours here. If you're not like me, you're normal. Here's a few images that they took of the products here. And what they didn't really catalog were the brand names very well. They cataloged the actual specifications of the products. So if you wanted to know the actual brands, it's not very important to the Japanese in this moment. It's more important the cost of the items on the consumer market, and it's more important to them the specifications of what made them special. How did they work? What did they mean to the consumer at the time? If you wanted to collect all of the items, it's going to be kind of difficult. They have artificial eyes, right? They have dentures, gastrointestinal scopes. It's incredible the length that they went to really capture the social and engineering and medical advancements at the time. I was really interested to figure out, because this particular capsule has a lot of mystery around it for me, of like what brands are in here. But we have something today with deep research in ChatGPT, and I am just stupid enough to spend $200 a month on it. Anyone else? No one. Work with me here. So you can actually do a little bit of research here. I wanted to know specifically what brand this wristwatch was. So I had a little conversation with ChatGPT. We went back and forth on this, and I said, I wanted to purchase this watch. So we started having a conversation about this. With deep reasoning, it was able to actually extract some of the value. Now, this is a very, very small image, because this image was taken in 1970 and digitized at the time. And I said, I believe it's a Seiko. It's really hard to see. This image is like 40 pixels wide. It returned this item for sale right now today on eBay for me, after about 57 seconds of deliberation. What we did was we went back and forth and we compared the two, and it gave me, after about an hour of back and forth, a point-by-point expert breakdown as to the deep reasoning as to why it believes it's the exact same watch. So it's like having an expert jeweler on hand. The watch that I'm looking at is almost exactly the same watch, and why we believe it's the same watch, because it was purchased at the same time, has all the same specifications at the exact same moment. It actually retailed for the exact same price, had the same jewel movement. It's an automatic watch, and by the way, it has the same curvature, and it was a chronograph of the same era. Oh, and I bought it, and I'm wearing it at the moment. What's incredible about this is that not only was I sort of like time capsule pilled because of AI, and I created this whole thing was because of AI, I'm now shopping and buying because of AI. Is anything original anymore? I don't know. So I want to visit this one day, of course. This spreading activation curiosity is actually an observable philosophical and psychological phenomenon. We talk about this a lot at Future Commerce. Robert Bornstein studied this incessantly. You can do a lot of reading about this on our website. But curiosity drives you in, but it's your own fascination that actually cements things like purchase decisions. We do this in this room all the time. Performance marketing might plant an idea. It's your own curiosity that drives you to the purchase decision. Things like self-perception theory, people like me, I examine my own behavior. And I'm like, wow, Daryl Bim, you're really smart, Cornell University. He thought about this about 40 years ago. People like me, I examine my own behavior. Why do I like this thing? If I like this thing, it must be really interesting, and I think I'm a really smart person. People like me make smart decisions. And I think I'm a smart consumer, so obviously, I must be really informed. Therefore, smart people like me like brands like this. People like us in this room use things like this to make smart purchasing decisions all the time. Cornell University was involved in another time capsule project, as I'm wrapping up. Cornell University worked together with Carl Sagan in 1977 to send a time capsule into space. They created something with Voyager 1 to capture pictures of all of the planets and preserve them for an extraterrestrial destination on something called the Golden Record. Has anyone heard of this? No one, very few people. Sounds of Earth and images of Earth are on this Golden Record. In fact, 110 images of Earth are on this Golden Record, preserved for all of eternity, sailing out beyond our solar system into the cosmos. This thing has been traveling at 83,000 miles an hour since 1977, and it only left our solar system in 2012. Our solar system is vast and expansive, and people in the 1970s preserved our culture for some other civilization to find us. And what do you think they thought of to reflect who we are? Well, John Lomberg thought of it. He was the principal artist at NASA, and he worked with Carl Sagan, and he art directed one particular photo that captures everything of who we are. It is a woman in a grocery store shopping, and she's eating a grape in front of a market displaying prices. And so I talked to him. He's still alive. He lives in Kona, Hawaii. And he says the supermarket image is one of the few images that directly addresses the topics of commerce and economics. And intentionally so, because I wanted the prices clearly visible, because we had defined numbers elsewhere in the capsule. This is our system of measurement. It's another image. The previous photos in the capsule showed mechanized agriculture and a farmer eating grapes in a field. And having our model eat grapes in the supermarket implied that most of us don't get our grapes, or by implication anything else, directly out of fields but by markets. This is an incredibly human concept to convey. This is John Lomberg's website. It's itself a time capsule. I don't think he's updated this since 1996. We preserve our culture through what we buy, and what we buy is who we become, because commerce is culture. I'll leave you with this. In the 1938 capsule, there was a letter from Albert Einstein. He wrote this to a future civilization to be open in 6900, and he said this. He said, "To a future civilization, our time is rich in inventive minds, the inventions of which could facilitate our lives considerably. We are crossing the seas by power and utilize power in order to do so to relieve humanity of all tiring muscular work. We have learned to fly, and we're able to send messages and news without any difficulty over the entire world through electric waves. However, the production and distribution of commodities is entirely unorganized, so that everybody must live in fear of being eliminated from the economic cycle, in this way suffering for the want of everything. Furthermore, people are living in different countries, killing each other at irregular time intervals, so for this reason, anyone who thinks about the future must live in fear and terror." But I'll tell you what, the people in this room have made lives considerably better since the time that letter was written, because people don't live in as much fear and terror of the future. We don't live in as much fear of acquiring of commodities. It's a little easier to live now through by what we buy and belong, the way we shop. I believe that the people in this room, if you can change what you buy and you change how you buy it, you can shape the future. And if you want to do something like this with us at Future Commerce, and you want to join us to play Dungeons & Dragons, that's cool. Okay? That's cool. We do other things too. We unveiled a word-of-mouth index earlier today with our paid community. With Faring, they do post-purchase surveys. They have an unbelievable cache of data that helps people after the purchase understand how they got to your website, and we're partnering with them. So we do practical things too. We also produce print, but we tell stories about how brands become a part of people's lives. So I want you to understand how we inspire people like you to understand your place in the culture. And that is what we do. We have a book coming out. It ships in just about a month and a half. I'd love to inspire you to think bigger about your job, and I'd love to help you do it a little bit better, because commerce is culture. Thank you so much.